Here's a question for you guys, okay? Are Zimbabweans easily distracted? That is, are Zimbabweans do we get easily excited over unimportant issues? Like, do we easily get excited over trivial issues or trivia? Do we? I want to talk about this because this is something that has been brought up by some people. Every time there is some kind of excitement over some issue, and most of the time we see the creativity of Zimbabweans who will just come up with some images, even videos, even little sketches here and there, in which they are talking about these things. Now, a good example that I can come up with right away was issue Yezihuta, the quail birds, in which there was a lot of excitement. Pictures were posted. People said all sorts of things. Then there was the issue of payment of fees using goats, and that's something which is current now. And it's going on and on and on and on, and some people are getting frustrated because they think it's trivia. But if you look at this, every week, every weekend, or every football season, we're inundated with Premiership football news. Some might also want to call it trivia. Okay, so which is trivia? The football that we see on social media every day or every week or every season, or some of the religion that we see. What should be our attitude to all this? Should we be labeling others to be trivial in their interpretation of complex issues? Okay, because for some, those are complex issues. And if I think that people are being trivial, here's what I'll do. Okay, here's what I do. I look for the angle of capital. Okay, how can this thing be turned into capital? How can this thing benefit the country? And then I look from a scientific point of view, especially from a physics point of view. Right? So that's my attitude. If I think that I can make an economic contribution to football, I can talk about how football is contributing to Britain's, for example, to England's gross domestic product, okay, in a big way, because football, there's a lot of money in football in the UK, okay, so we can talk about that, and we can talk about how Zimbabwe can emulate some of the methods which are being used here, okay, so that's one thing. So instead of getting frustrated, I can interpret the situation, the football situation, in a way that makes economic sense to me. And from a scientific point of view, I can also look at football and maybe explain the science behind the playing of football. Okay, I can, for example, we can talk about exercise, why it's good for you and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot we can talk about from a scientific point of view. The technologies that have been employed in improving the sport, we can talk about that. In fact, there's a science podcast that I listen to. These guys are theoretical physicists, but they are talking about the science of football. Okay, they are talking about the science of football because they want science to become more accessible to people, to individuals who are not very conversant in scientific terms, right? So I don't think we should get frustrated. I think we should allow people to express themselves. I think we should be at the forefront of turning issues around. If we feel that we can make a non-trivial contribution, then go ahead and make one, you know, instead of complaining about, oh, people should stop talking about quail birds, people should stop talking about payment of fees using goats. And I think that's a very important. In fact, I'm quite happy that it's been brought up, this issue of paying fees with goats. Okay, not that I agree with it. Okay, but it's an opportunity for us to bring up the debate on bringing back our own currency and the issue of capital itself. Okay, how do you create capital? How do you create money? Okay, so the issue of goats as fees, as payment for fees, has brought about two important things that we talk about every day. Okay, money and capital. How do you create those two? How do you start from first principles? Because basically we've been taken back to the definition or to the origin or to the history of the creation of money. We don't have a currency in our country. Okay, so how do we come up with a method of payment? How do we come up with our own currency? That basically is it for me. Okay, people are arguing over the feasibility of using goats, the practicality side of things. Fine, because if it's going to happen, then people better debate about it. How is it going to be applicable? Okay, and funny enough, the minister himself has not said anything, okay, outside of that press report. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see him come out and deny or claim that it's been misquoted. It'll be interesting to see that. Anyway, I just wanted to clear the the frustration that people are having and encourage people. Let people talk. And if you see them going in a direction which you think is not beneficial to anyone, come up with something which is beneficial. Okay, and maybe I'll just comment on one video that I saw I watched a video. It was about someone complaining about how religions have neglected true religion. Okay, and I don't know what he means by true religion, but he was basically complaining that we are not that the methods being used by pastors are bad. Okay, and they should be practicing their gospel in a certain way, right? One thing that I advise people, okay, is if you find that what people are doing is crazy, okay, instead of telling them to stop doing something, because they are never going to stop, okay, you can tell them to stop, but they will not stop, because that's how they are making their money. So instead of doing that, I think you need to come up with an alternative solution, okay, in which you are practicing what you preach. Okay? So instead of telling me to stop doing things the way I'm doing them, show me the way things should be done by actually doing something. Okay? It's so easy to comment on how others should do stuff without showing them how it's done. Okay? So with the issue of the church, start a church. Okay, if you feel strongly about the gospel, start a church and start preaching the way that the gospel should be preached. That's my contribution to that. And as for the frustration over our obsession with trivia Okay, one man's trivia is another man's entertainment. Okay, these people are, the only thing I would say is some of that entertainment should actually be on platforms that can pay the entertainers. We have lots of entertainers, and it's big business to be an entertainer. Okay, if I could make people laugh, if I could be funny, I'll be in that business. But my skills are in other areas. Okay, so that is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I feel this is the contribution I can make. Okay, if you think you can be funny, then you go ahead and be funny. So allow people to be funny, allow them to express themselves, allow them to engage in trivia, because that's entertainment. You're either learning something or you're being entertained. If the show is boring and you don't like it, don't watch it. Okay? If I look at the statistics of my videos, I know some people drop within a minute, some people watch the whole video. That's the way it is. You cannot appeal to everyone. You cannot entertain everyone. You cannot teach everyone. Okay, some of the things I'm talking about are trivia to some people, but some people will learn something from it. That's just the way it is. I think the problem with social media is that we've befriended so many people, and some of them are Twitter run, but we're friends. Then when I come up with my trivia, or you come up with your trivia, I should not become frustrated. So that's the way it is. Okay, learn to scroll through past, or unfollow someone, or in the worst case scenario, just unfriend. I'm sure there's one or two people that you really will never get along with. So unfriending one or two people from more than 1,000 friends, 5,000 friends, I don't think it's a crazy thing to do. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about frustration that people are feeling with the trivia, with more important things to do. Talk about the more important things, okay? And stop telling people what to do, because they'll never stop. That's just the truth. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.